So welcome everyone to session one of Ricci Sales webinar sessions. We're very excited. As we said, today you have your host, myself, Kelly Taylor, and my co-host, Jessica Mason.
Hi guys, we're super excited. Like Kelly said, this is the first of hopefully many. Ricci Sales represents a lot of different lighting companies, so today we'll be focusing on Hubbardton Forge, but keep an eye out for more. So
perfect. All right, so I'm just going to shut us down here for video and let's get rolling. So as Jessica said, we are Ricci Sales. So Jess, you want to go through the team a little bit?
Sure. So obviously we're the face of today's meeting, but I'm sure everybody knows Mr. Ricci, our president of the agency. Then we also have Ryan Higgins and Jeffrey Eisauer, who are head of showroom sales, and lovely Rob Antonikia, who is also showroom and builder sales. So we are the face of this, but there's a lot of brains behind this operation. So I just want to make sure everybody got to see everybody's face.
So as Jessica mentioned, we have obviously many wonderful vendors in our line card. Today, we're going to be talking about Hubbardton Forge. So Hubbardton Forge is one of 3 domestic manufacturers that we represent in our line card. Now, why is that so important to you? With COVID really playing such a large part, wreaking havoc, let's be honest, on today's supply chains across all industries, having a domestic manufacturer in your lineup is very beneficial these days. I want to ask you, how many of you right now are currently dealing with out of stock, on the water, unconfirmed, missed deadlines? With Hubbardton Forge, that's something that you don't have to worry about. The fact that we are domestic, we can produce our products for you to meet those deadlines that you have. Standard lead time for Hubbardton Forge is 2 to 3 weeks. That's it. And if for any reason you have a customer that's in need of something sooner than that, we can get it to you in as little as 1 week. So, now more than ever, Hubbardton should be considered a resource for your lighting solutions, not only for their incredible designs, but the confidence in the fulfillment of your customers' orders and deadlines.
Yeah, I think that's huge, Cal, really.
Yeah. We also have a raised hand, Jess. I just want to make sure we're okay with if somebody's having any problems.
Answering your question. You said how many of you have been dealing with on the water?
So who is Hubbardton Forge? So Hubbardton Forge started back in 1973, 2 college grads, George Chandler and Reed Hampton. They started Hubbardton Forge in a barn in Vermont. I'm not kidding you. The barn still stands today, to a company that now employs over 200 families in Vermont. What I love about the story of Hubbardton Forge is they've taken the old world technique, right, of blacksmithing and forging and combined it with 21st century technology. So it's this very unique story of like old school meets new school. And I think that's just such a powerful thing when you bring that together. And Hubbardton has really mastered their craft in bringing that old school and new school together to create some beautiful light fixtures. So as you can see, Hubbardton Forge has come such a long way. They originally started making candlestick holders, fireplace tools. Now they create some of the most trend-setting lighting designs in the industry. I really love that bottom graphic that shows the hands kind of cradling that mock-up, because it truly is a handheld process for Hubbardton. From design conception all the way to manufacturing, it is a handheld process. It's not only about the process, but also the people. So we're going to show you a quick video about Hubbardton Forge so you can get a better insight as to the people behind the products.
Small town Caston, Vermont, where we proudly make and craft Hubbardton Forge lighting. What really sets us apart is
award-winning design,
handcrafted quality. It's about the people. You can have as many processes or quality checks as you want, but you have to have the right person to do it.
It all comes together really nicely in this little tiny town that one would never expect, but yet we have this really incredible company here that's producing this amazing design and projects and working with our customers out across the country.
We are one of the largest employers in the area, and people depend on us. Families depend on us, the community depends on us, and people come here for a career, not just a job.
So when I started here in 1992, there were about 18 of us, and today we employ about 230 people right here in Vermont.
Yeah, one of the biggest differences when I started working and designing for Hubbardton Forge was the relationship with the designer and the maker. It isn't a drawing, go ahead and make it. It's you're sitting working together and figuring out what's the best way to make it, what are things we can do easily? What are things that aren't easy, but it's good for us to figure out how to do that? And there's a great relationship. It's a back and forth. Both are learning from each other, and it really is something that's, throughout the design process and development process.
So the designers will make models up. They'll bring them out to us, sometimes similar to this. Their models sometimes are kind of interesting and make us laugh a little bit, make us scratch our heads and how we're going to do this.
The design the intent can be explained to the people who are going to be working on it right there, and there's a lot of feedback. So that's an exciting way to work.
Really, our local partners are an extension of our own in-house development team. It's great to be able to work with local artisans that are an hour away. We're able to utilize their expertise, whether it's glass, LEDs, leather, other materials.
My name is Rich Aronson. I run a hand-blown glass lighting studio in Burlington, Vermont, and we make glass components for some of the leading boutique lighting designers in the country. And we have an extra special relationship with Hubbardton Forge where we help with the prototyping, and the designers often come to visit us with their ideas.
My name is Jason Orzel. I'm the Director of Engineering at LED Dynamics. We're a Vermont-based LED lighting company, and we focus on design and manufacturing just down the road from here. We have a classroom in-house where employees come in and learn about new LED technology, and we offer that to our customers as well.
I think one of the beautiful things when you walk through the facility here is you'll see projects, like large projects, go out. At the same time, you'll see one-of-a-kind, one-offs being made too. And we really have, developed the agility here to help solve problems.
Having everybody under one roof allows us to be really agile, to adapt to changes in specifications or other things that come up. We can turn on a dime and make it happen much more quickly than if we were based overseas.
The customer called in and they want something that we make, but like scaled up 60% or 50%, or and it's like they're adding all these extra pieces and parts, and it's just challenging work. But I love it. Because it's like you're creating something that all these parts by themselves are nothing, but when you put it all together, it's like it becomes amazing.
All right, so that was a glimpse into Hubbardton Forge, a nice, I think, video to really help visualize, the passion. I think you guys can really see the passion in the people that work behind the product. So Jessica's going to talk a little bit here about the design team and where their influences come from and how they work.
Yeah, like Kelly said, you just really get a sense of the community. I mean, everybody at the Forge loves what they do, and there's so much love that goes into these lighting fixtures, and the ability to really make anybody's dreams or creations come true. So let's talk about the design team. So we have David Kitts, who is our Director of Designer. And David, before joining us at Hubbardton Forge, he actually designed furniture and lighting for Restoration Hardware, Crate and Barrel, some really well-known, companies in the industry. So he's really brought a great, new look onto Hubbardton Forge with their old forging into today's modern twist. Then we have Ari Goldberg. Ari Goldberg is from Israel, and he has a background in sculpture and metalworking. So as you can see, some of the images of things that he has created, really in jewelry and crafting that metal together. David Martin. David Martin actually was a residential architectural designer before joining Hubbardton. So he comes with, that architectural background. He really uses everyday material and kind of modifies it to how can we create a light fixture. Then we have Paul Mar Hillard. He really works with the stone carving and blacksmithing, as you can see from some of the sculptural work. So kind of bringing that aesthetic into our light fixtures. And then we have Andy Moore, Andy is our LED guru. He actually was the designer of our LED light guide that we use on a lot of our fixtures today. And he really brought a whole new, technology in LED to Hubbardton Forge.
So, talking about the forging process, I really love this graphic here that shows Jeff, heating that metal, bending that metal. It really shows you how each piece is handcrafted. And what we want to talk about here is the finishes that are available from Hubbardton Forge, and also a very important aspect known as the forging, the texture that you're going to see on these pieces. So what you see there, when you look at that image, you can see how hot the metal is currently, and you see that speckling effect. That's called scaling. Now, that's a natural effect of the metal. So depending on the level of carbon in that particular piece of metal, as it's heated, that carbon rises to the surface and it creates a scaling or forging effect. Now that's a desired effect. So you can actually, I'm going to use my mouse here, you can see the variance that you're going to see in a Hubbardton Forge piece. That's natural. That's an intent and an artistic choice that we want our fixtures to really emulate. So the finishes you see above, these are called our translucent finishes. So our mahogany, bronze, dark smoke, and burnished steel. These finishes allow you to see through to the natural workings of the metal. You can really see all of the detail behind this finish. Now, let's say you have a customer that's like, oh, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I want something a little bit more consistent. You can go with a thicker opaque finish, which is going to do a better job of covering that natural forging. So that would be like our black, natural iron, vintage platinum, soft gold, gold, and sterling that we're going to talk about in a moment. But this again is going to give it a little bit more uniform look. You can still see that forging, but it's not as defined as a translucent finish. So again, if you want to highlight that, be looking at our translucent finishes. It's just an important note that it is part of the artistic beauty of each piece, and no two pieces are ever going to be alike.
I want to also highlight, how Kelly said at the beginning that we are an American-made manufacturer, so we don't have to wait for something on the water. But that also means that all of our fixtures are made to order. So you might see, one of our fixtures in the black in our catalog, but it can be made in any of these finishes that you see here. So really, I know a lot of people might look through another lighting company and it only offers it in black and a gold, and you really wanted a silver or something like that. So we have really a ton of options for all of these fixtures and in any finish that would match your project.
Yep. And it's also important to note as well with the finishes. So we also have all of our finished colors with the exception of the sterling and gold. We do these in a coastal exterior finish. So you're going to have a more endurance finish for exterior coastal finish. So talking about our exciting new finish, this is fantastic. So Dash 85 Sterling, brand new finish, absolutely stunning. It almost has a liquid feel to it when you look at that graphic. And again, you can see the natural working of the metal underneath. And we're so excited about this finish for a few reasons. Number one, this is Hubbardton's solution to plating. Being a domestic manufacturer, Hubbardton's always very, concerned about its environmental footprint. So we don't do plating at Hubbardton Forge. So to present a solution for that, they've come up with this gorgeous finish. And you can see, it looks like a plated piece. So I think this really opens up a new category for Hubbardton, and maybe when you wouldn't have thought of it. I think a lot of people think of Hubbardton Forge as like, oh, dark forged metal, bronze, black. No, you can get some really bright contemporary feel from our fixtures. Imagine these in a bath bar. It's really going to open up older existing pieces with an exciting new finish applied to it. So we're really excited about this. And the next slide shows a great example of how you can take an older fixture and put it in this new finish and really take it in a completely different direction. Just to Jessica's point, changing the finish can drastically change the overall feel of a piece.
And I challenged you before. I feel like some people might have been like, oh, I'm not a Hubbardton Forge customer. Well, this now opens it up to so many other customers now. We can, like Kelly said, bring other fixtures back to life in a new, sterling finish that really looks like it is plated and can be a lot more applicable in other homes that might have otherwise overlooked Hubbardton.
Absolutely. So we're going to jump into a sneak peek. We're not going to show you everything, but we're going to show you just some pieces we picked out of the new 2021 new product launch. So we will start with the Mobius. So the Mobius collection, so this was an existing piece in the line. And what's a funny story about this piece is it actually came about through an original custom inquiry that we're going to talk about later. But we just love this piece. It really is a nice soft fixture. Those spun frost petals are very delicate, very soft. I love this trend kind of in the industry. You sometimes see it with like a feathers or almost like a cloud-like material. This is a nice soft fixture. Again, you can see how by changing the finish in either a black or a sterling. You can take it into a different direction, but I've seen this in a few different applications. I've seen it used, obviously, you know, over a dining room table, but I also recently saw it in a bath application, and it was absolutely stunning. So we now have a 12 light semi-flush as well as a 16 light orb pendant. Jess, do you want to take the willow?
Sure. Then we have the willow, which is a beautiful, you know, gentle contemporary fixture, but really just simple. I mean, looking at the beautiful arms, the curvatures, I just think it's really light and airy, especially the elongated one. The elongated is beautiful. I know that, you know, a lot of customers have, you know, rectangular tables, and in their mind, they feel like they have to have an elongated chandelier to really bring out, you know, the light illumination further to the tips of the head of the table. So willow is a beautiful option for that. Again, this is shown in a dark finish, but it could be, you know, in our new sterling finish to brighten it up. You know, I think it's a really beautiful new addition to their products.
So next we have the Arc. This is a fantastic new piece. It's getting a lot of noise already. I've actually met with a few people who have been stunned by this interpretation of almost an open cage lantern. You know, so we see a lot of lanterns, and I love this interpretation of Hubbardton Forges. It features a very unique, thick, hand-poured convex glass. So it has that nice gentle curvature to it. And I love that kind of smoky effect that the swirling has inside of it. And I know, Jess, you and I have talked about, you know, custom modifications to this, you know, right?
Totally. I mean, I see, so Arc, you know, this is just one pendant that Hubbardton introduced this year, but the world is really your oyster. So imagine, you know, taking this lantern and elongating it for over an island, and maybe you're going to have 3 panels of glass side by side with, you know, 3 different candlesticks behind it, and you can have a beautiful lantern. You know, maybe you want to have the metal shrunk down a little bit and stagger 3 of these on one canopy down a long staircase. You know, so even though it might just be one lantern, there's a ton of options that you can do with this, and I think I think the glass is beautiful, and my brain's just going crazy. I can't wait to do some custom with this.
So Olympus, this is another great collection. So important note about the Olympus. So each one of those rings is hand hammered and rolled in the forge, as you saw there. So it just adds some intrigue, some detail. I really love and appreciate that orb in the top right image there. You can imagine how many welds go into putting that bad boy together. I'm sure it keeps the guys on the floor busy. But I think it's just, again, a nice interpretation. And imagine putting that in a different finish, in a sterling finish, taking it to a completely different direction. I just think the attention to detail is a testament to the craftsmanship of these pieces, and it just adds a little more intrigue to your standard sphere or standard star burst display. And I know an important note as well on this is, you know, when you look at these pieces, these come out of the box all assembled. Like, you're not going to be assembling rings. Again, a testament to the craftsmanship of that. These are completely, you know, developed and manufactured and put together and open box. You literally take them out of the box, maybe assemble a glass, but that is the quality of the pieces that you're going to be receiving.
Yeah, I think when you point that out, I mean, then you really do appreciate all of the individual welds and realize that you're not screwing anything on together. Like Kelly said, you might be adding the glass, but this is truly a solid fixture coming out of the box. And you really have an appreciation for the amount of hands that have touched this fixture, you know, before it gets to you. Oh, we have somebody asking, oh, they love the Olympus. Oh, I'm so glad. And somebody asked if we can get samples of the new finish. Absolutely. We are working on getting them to our office and touch it back out to your local rep, and we can get them out to you as soon as
absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Keep them coming, guys. We love the questions. So Ardesia. So Ardesia is a stunning piece. I mean, obviously it's striking the minute you see it. It's like, wow, you know, what is this? So Ardesia is Italian for slate. Now, little known fun fact, being a native Vermonter, black slate and natural slate is, Vermont is the country's capital for this particular resource. So it was really fun to see them develop this particular light fixture. And I love, again, just that combination of bringing nature and technology together. I just love that juxtaposition. I just think it's such a fun story. This features that LED light guide technology we were speaking of earlier, as well as, you know, something really important to note about Hubbardton Forge pieces is look at the cables coming down. Look at how clean they are. You don't have that obnoxious, ugly power cord coming down. Hubbardton is running the current through those cables. And I think it's just the details that do make the difference in projects and that our clients do appreciate when you can point those things out. So, you know, not only is this a striking piece, it's just noting the craftsmanship and manufacturing and the thought process that went behind that. So here you see we have a circular version as well as a linear.
Yeah, this is also another thing to mention about the cables is that it is very easy to install, guys. So when you get these cables, I know some other companies force you to cut the cables before you thread them through that canopy. Hubbardton's cables, you can adjust it right on site. If you want to tweak it and pull it down a little bit, there's a little lock nut mechanism at the canopy that can be adjusted super easily right there. Somebody asked if this is an integrated LED fixture. Yes, this is. This is our LED light guide technology that we were talking about.
Yep.
Lumens and Kelvin temperature information is listed on the spec sheet. We're actually going to get to that a little bit further at the end. Then also somebody's asking if the cables can have an extension. Absolutely. So again, remember, Hubbardton's made to order. So you want a certain amount of cable, we're making it to begin with for you anyway. Just make sure you input that when you place your order, and we can add cable to your to whatever specification that you need. The same thing with our rods. In the bottom right hand corner, you see one of the Ardesias on 2 stems. The majority of our stems are telescopic. So that means that they slide into one another and they can be adjusted within a certain range. So we have a short, a standard, and a long stem option for all of our fixtures. And it will tell you, we'll show that to you in a little bit too on the spec sheet, that you can adjust it. So maybe it can be adjusted from 30 inches overall to 46, and it can literally be adjusted to the centimeter between those. So we'll show you that later, absolutely. Or if you wanted it, extra long, or if the short wasn't short enough and you wanted to do a custom, as long as you need to take into consideration the height of the fixture, but we could make that a little bit shorter or even longer, or a fixed height as well, absolutely.
So next we're moving on to the Griffin. So the Griffin was an extension of an existing family. This was a very popular piece that was introduced into the line. We now introduced a Starburst collection. So this is featuring hand-hammered twigs that go through the forge, and they now offer a brand new glass option. I love this. It's such a cool glass. It's a thumbprint glass. You can see the little delicate indentation there. It's available in a clear or a cool gray. Next, we had the Ume. Jess, did you want to talk a little bit about this one?
I just love it. I just want to say it all the time. I know. I think it's just so beautiful. It's so light and airy, but the beauty of this is really in the glass. I mean, this is hand-blown glass. And I think the uniqueness is really that it's frosted on the inside, but then there's such a high gloss on the outside that just makes it a piece of art. Again, we have a beautiful elongated fixture. This could be pulled up tight to the ceiling. You do also have the other thumbprint clear and smoke glass options, but I just think that the Ume frosted is just, I don't know, it's just something so unique and beautiful. And
one thing we pointed out too when we were talking about this piece is we love how elongated and like spacious this piece is. I mean, imagine sucking that right up to the ceiling to making it almost like an oversized flush mount. Really be thinking creatively with these pieces. You see a lot of demand in the marketplace for these larger scale flush mounts and semi-flush, and you could achieve that with this piece. So really, really fun piece. Next, we have the Abacus. Okay, guys, we're going to be for real here. Abacus is by far one of our personal favorites. I mean, it's just so cool. And, Abacus was introduced to the line a few years ago, and due to its popularity and how many custom requests we were getting on a daily basis, they have now introduced a new larger 14-inch diameter sphere. And you can see how just by changing and adding another layer of sizing to this has added so much, dynamic and dramatic feel to it. It's available in cool gray glass as well as opal, and the sky is the limit with Abacus. I mean, this is a modular piece that I've seen used not only as a functional light piece, but as wall art, as a room divider, on the ceiling, on the floor, as a portable. I mean, it's just a really unique concept that can be used in a multitude of applications. And we want to show you a really fun slide on the next slide here. So I love this slide because it really breaks down. It shows the technology inside of the orbs. You can see the LED tube inside of there, and it moves just like an Abacus. You can see there, you literally pinch that and slide it where you want. But if you check out this awesome video, we actually would just received this a couple days ago. I mean, take a look at this.
So like Kelly said, I mean, all of these, globes are placed on the cables upon installation. So we can add more, we can take some away. We started with this smaller size, which I believe is about 10 inches in diameter. And then we introduced this year the larger 14-inch globe. Now, somebody asked if the globe sizes can be changed. It would have to be going through a custom, but you could either do, maybe all of the large glasses or some of the smaller ones. You know, we can totally look into that for custom.
Yeah.
But like Kelly said, they're adjusted right on site, so you don't have to worry too much about the positioning of where those holes are going to be. Just you kind of want to have an idea as to how many you would like.
Yeah.
All of that gets.
And what's cool is if you notice in this video too, like see the canopy up top, and then look at you, they ran it all the way down through the stairwell, and then there's an additional canopy on the floor. So they made it into this true unique custom column. So again, really a lot of options for this particular collection.
Another thing to note, I mean, in this video, they have 2 canopies, but you could, and that's just because of the driver, because as you can see how many lights are in there, only a driver can only hold so much power to light.
There's 72 of those bad boys on that piece. 72 people.
But if you look at the sketch drawing on this page, so a lot of New York City apartments sometimes might not have electrical boxes in the ceiling where you might want them. So actually what we have in the line, which we haven't shown you, but it's kind of like a floor lamp. So the canopy actually sits on the floor and gets plugged into an outlet. And then these cables get secured up into the ceiling. So there's a lot of different opportunities. This gives you a lot more, area where you can supply light where there might not be an electrical box. So just keep that in mind as well.
Yep. And the same platform here, we have the Libra, same concept, same idea. You can utilize this in multiple applications. The difference obviously is we now have a beautiful ribbed outer glass cylinder versus the spherical balls. But again, same platform, same concept and idea. All right, so from there, we're moving on to the Vitre. So the Vitre is a new collection. We have a beautiful circular chandelier that's featuring the handmade slabs of clear glass with those swirls, giving it just, again, some very nice intrigue. And we also have the linear piece available as well. Okay, Derby. I love talking about Derby. So Derby, sorry, I get a little excited about it. So Derby is such a fantastic piece and it has a lot going on for it. So the Derby has so many different aspects to it. You've got wood, you've got leather, you've got glass, you've got these gorgeous polished nickel or brass fittings. So there's a lot going on with this piece. I love that that natural maple wood option. So you can see that there in the top right. And then we also have it available in a black option. So a fun little tech fact about this is, again, look at the cleanness, no ugly power cord. Like, how on earth are they lighting that piece? What they're doing is they're actually stitching in copper foil into the leather, and the leather is carrying the current to the fixture. I mean, how cool is that? Yes. So the current is running down through the cable, through the leather, down into the LED component inside the glass. So really gorgeous fixture. Again, like Jessica says, these are luxury items that are made to order for you. You can mix and match, create your own style and feel based on your client's need and application.
Yeah.
Jess, you want to talk about Dahlia?
Dahlia. So Dahlia, we have a large Dahlia, a full chandelier size that really took off because we had a lot of custom requests for a semi-flush. I think the beautiful thing about this Dahlia is that you have 2 medium sockets in that semi-flush, so that's really going to pop up some light up onto the ceiling, bounce back down. If you look at the shadows that it's casting in the image on the right-hand side, you can see that as well. So again, this is just another example of where custom kind of took us. So don't be afraid to ask us. We will walk you through. Kelly and I have done a lot of custom fixtures with Hubbardton, and it's really, really fun to see the end result.
You want to keep going, Jess? You want to talk about
Saratoga? Sure, Saratoga. So I was super impressed with Saratoga when Hubbardton launched it. And I think a lot of people, like, you see the leather and I feel like immediately you think, oh, it can only be masculine, but that's not true. Look at it in the, in the hallway. I see it in a master bedroom. I see it in an office, because you have all of these options. So it's basically a custom fixture without the custom price tag, right? Because you have 4 different shade options. You have 3 different leather options. You have 2 different accents. I mean, think about all the different configurations that you can do with this. The beautiful cluster that you can see kind of in the top right-hand corner. There's a 3-light cluster in the medium, and then a 4-light cluster in the larger one. It's beautifully done. I mean, you see the black detailing and then the polished nickel, or the aged brass, depending on what it is that you're ordering it as. But I just think it's super unique, and I see a lot of applications for this. So.
And a quick fun fact for all of you. So Saratoga, and the reason behind the name of Saratoga, it's named after Saratoga Raceway up in upstate New York, and that's where they do the horse racing. So they got some influence there from the equestrian field. All right, so ensemble. So this is a great new piece featuring a very nice intricate glass. We really love that textured detail on the glass. This is important to note because this is new for Hubbardton Forge. Hubbardton Forge is going to be moving to a standardized industry STEM kit, which means you are now going to have standard stem kits in a 12-inch, 6-inch, and 3-inch sections of pipe that you can thread end to end. Now, normally, historically, Hubbardton has had their coupling system, right, where you telescope the rods. They are moving to a more standardized in the industry where you're going to have these separate sections sent, and you can build it to the length you need. So Mason, Jess, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, Mason. So I really challenge you. I mean, if you look at the beauty and the thickness of this hand-blown glass on Mason, I challenge you to find another exterior chandelier that has this thick, expensive glass. It just doesn't really, it's not really there in the marketplace. And so Mason was an addition. We do have, you know, wall lights, wall sconces and other things in Mason, but you know, because of COVID, outdoor living has really become a new thing. I know it was kind of on the trend before this happened, but now that people are cooped up inside, a lot of people are, you know, getting their exterior spaces up and ready to go because we don't really know what the future is going to look like. Go back.
Good.
Sorry. So Mason, you know, and I just see a bunch of, again, custom opportunities. I mean, imagine putting, you know, a metal frame orb around there and having it a little bit more of a modern, you know, chandelier. Imagine staggering the 4 different lights at different heights and giving yourself a little bit, you know, bigger of a chandelier. We could do two tier of this, you know, really a ton of options with Mason.
Mm-hmm. Henry, same concept, exterior piece. So this was a very popular collection for us. We've now offered this in an exterior piece with that stem kit as well. So just like, you know, Jessica said, outdoor living is going to be on the rise. It is not going anywhere, folks. We are going to be seeing, I have a feeling, more and more for outdoor living and exterior products in this category for that reason. Kingston, beautiful new addition. We're very excited about this. I know Jessica and I are geeking out over the glass. So we were talking about this the other day with a client. You know, that glass that you see featured on Kingston, it's a gorgeous, thick, blown glass. It's a real nod to traditional style. David Kitts described this as almost looking through an old colonial window. You know how you have that natural waviness to it. So just a beautiful nod to the traditional style, but adding a nice, clean, sharp frame finish to it. I love this. And I love the fact too, you see those little back plates inside. Those are available in either a soft gold or vintage platinum accent to add a little bit of, you know, a little bit of color to it. All right, so we're quickly just going to go through some of the best sellers for Hubbardton Forge as well, just as a little review. So Cirque Collection has been a tried and true piece for many, many years, and now we're really excited. I can't wait to see the first one come off the floor in sterling now. Exos Collection, we have this in a single and double shaded option. You can mix and match your colors, you know, create different, you know, variations in size. I've seen this on a ceiling where we've done large ones, small ones, and created an almost cloud-like effect. Cityscape, this was a breakout collection for Hubbardton Forge. It's when they first introduced the LED light guide technology. So just don't forget about this piece. It really is, again, striking. You're going to see a lot new variations of this moving forward with like the Gossamer and a few others, but a great piece to consider. Corona, really highlighting what the Forge does best, that gorgeous forging detail. We love that piece. And then the Dahlia, I feel like, was kind of a next gen version of that, a little bit more delicate in its form. Mobius Collection, there's the one of the originals there, where now you can see we have more variations of that available. Solstice Collection, all about that gorgeous poured glass. So AO glass.
I haven't seen that Solstice.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
It's amazing. So AO Glassworks, who you saw earlier in the presentation, that's where that particular glass is poured and made. And I've seen it in person, and it's absolutely stunning. And also don't forget, guys, you know, we do offer crystal options, you know, particularly for our markets in the New York, New Jersey area. There's a lot of demand for crystal. And you know what? Hubbardton Forge can fill that category for you. Jessica and I were joking last night. You ready? 1, 2, 3. This isn't your grandmother's crystal chandelier.
Yeah, literally, we said it at the same time. I mean,
yeah,
it's so
and it
true.
was so funny. Yeah,
all of our crystal is designed by our, you know, design team, and it's just so unique. So there's a lot of crystal options. I know that we didn't come out with any crystal in 2021, but I just wanted to show you this to remind you, you know, Hubbardton definitely does fill that category of product as well.
This Luma is one of our best-selling pieces. I mean, when you see this in person, it sparkles. So just don't forget about Hubbardton for crystal options. And like we said, it's like today's modern new crystal. A few outdoor top-selling collections, that Mason glass that we love, Shadow Box. And guys, you can actually get these customized to have house numbers on them if you want. Really nice feature that's available for that particular collection. Customs, don't forget, Hubbardton Forge, being a domestic manufacturer, if you can dream it, we can make it. literally. I've seen so many amazing customs come across our desk and emails. I know Jessica and I are quoting customs on a daily basis with Hubbardton. Just take advantage of that service. You know, there aren't many manufacturers that can offer a true napkin sketch development custom for you. Don't forget about that and know that you have that flexibility in your back pocket.
Yeah, it's such a strong category for Hubbardton, so I want you to be confident in it. Another thing too to mention, so Hubbardton has our standard finishes that can be applied on any fixture, but we can also match any Pantone color. We can get that, that color applied onto our fixtures. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you're working on something that has a signature color that you want to bring in, we can absolutely do that as well.
Yep. So real quick, guys, just going to go through your catalogs, your resources available to you. So you have your color catalog, your specification book, and of course your price list. Now, the most important one we want to point out right now is your specification book. So we actually just really wanted to go through this really quickly to show you how your spec book is broken down. So, here you have your model number listed in your spec book, because again, a lot of the questions you're going to have or, need to reach out to somebody for, you might not know it. The information's in your spec book. They put a lot of information in here. So not only can you build your item number to get your price, but you also are given your basic, dimension information, your spec info, as well as delivered lumens. I mean, you've got your delivered lumens here, your color temperature, your CRI, as well as dimming. How many times are you wondering, oh my gosh, is this, dimmable? What kind of dimmer can I use with it? We've got that all listed here, as well as if it's available for slope to ceiling adaptability, any special notes regarding it. But it is a pretty basic rundown. You've got your item number, lamping, LED. This particular item is integrated LED only. If there were other options, they'd be listed here. Then your length. If you remember one thing from this slide, please remember your length. So like anything, think of how many times you've ordered for a client and go, oh dear, it's too long or it's too short. Make sure you measure that piece from ceiling to bottom tip of fixture, how far down you want that bad boy to hang, and consult your spec book to make sure that you order the correct length. So you can see here, we've got different variations for this piece. Then you put in your finish, then your glass option, and boom, you've got your item number, and we'll show your cost here. So quickly going to brush on lifetime warranty. So Hubbardton Forge offers one of the most, I want to say, aggressive warranties in the market. They truly have a lifetime limited warranty. So that truly stands to the testament of the quality of the product. A broken weld, a finish defect, Hubbardton stands by that regardless of age. It really is important. Now, of course, there are some certain stipulations to that. We're not going to get into all the detail today, but just note that there are a few notes on that, and you can see the complete warranty in your price list or spec book. I do want to make one quick note, however, about the 5-year outdoor warranty. So you see how it says here, 5-year warranty outdoor coastal finishes if installed 10 miles or less from the seacoast. So you've got a 5-year warranty there. However, if it is farther away than 10 miles, you have a lifetime outdoor rated fixture. How many manufacturers can you say that for? So again, if it's within 10 miles, it's 5-year. Outside of 10 miles, farther inland, you guys are covered. So I know that's really important when selecting an exterior piece. So remember, when you invest in Hubbardton Outdoor, it's going to be worth it. What do we have here? So website. So we urge you to check out Hubbardton Forge's website. For those who didn't know, if you scroll to the bottom, you can actually put in your account number and purchase order number. That's going to give you your estimated promise date or lead time and or your shipping tracking information if your order's already shipped. So a lot of times if you're just looking for a quick order status, you can do that right on the website. It's right there.
And it's there, at all times of the night, guys. So you just need your account.
Yeah. When we're not available, this is here.
It'll break it down by item. If one item had already shipped, it'll give you tracking. If the other one is estimated to leave the forge at a certain date, that will show up there as well.
Yep.
Then we have some general, email addresses for you, inquiries, commercial, residential, things like that. And yeah.
And then the other thing to point out we wanted to mention is your dealer resources. So this is new. So dealer resources at the bottom of Hubbardton Forge's website. This is exciting because if you guys are ever in need of samples, finished samples, I know we had a few requests already. You can go right here. I mean, we'll take care of it for you as well, but you can request finished samples at any time. That includes shades or finishes. Download your PDF libraries. training tools. This is huge, guys. I urge both, design firms and showrooms and everyone, anybody who's looking for some more information on Hubbardton Forge, check these training tools out. There's some really great videos. They're quick little 5-minute courses where you can go through with your staff and understand how to order a piece, the LED technology, customs, outdoor finishes. I urge, any showroom staff to really, take their people through this and do this. Not only that, we do offer designer spotlight. So Hubbardton will feature designers, they'll feature installs, residential installs, any projects you've been working on with your clients, that come into your showroom, you can submit your project. And as we know, guys, social media, Instagram, Facebook, it's the new way of networking. I mean, this is how we network now. So it's important to get your work in front of people. We all want to expose our businesses and elevate our own brands and businesses. So please, submit those to us, and we'd love to pass them along to Hubbardton.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's just some general, contact info, mailing address, things like that. There's a dealer locator listed on our website. All of this can be found on the website. We just wanted to, highlight that as well. Then Kelly talked a lot about social, with the social media has been around before the pandemic, but now because, everybody hasn't really been able to see and touch these products, we've put even more energy and effort into this. So please make sure that you're following both Hubbardton's social media page, take a look at their website. We're getting a lot of real install images in front of you, close-ups, videos of different angles of the fixtures. There's a lot of material there. So I really urge you, to make sure that you're either following them or you take a look at them on a regular basis.
And of course, last but not least, don't forget to also check us out at riccisales.com. And also, of course, our Instagram and Facebook, that is at Lighting Inspo. So Jessica and I handle our Instagram and Facebook. We work really hard in it. We'd love to feature you. So we welcome any content. Definitely interact with us. We're very active on social, so we would love to have you follow us as well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope to spark, some more. This will be the first of many. Please reach out to your local sales rep, Ricci sales rep, if you have any questions, specific account questions. I know we had some questions about finishes. We'll get that out to you as well. And keep an eye out for the marketing email for the next training module. It will be on different brands, and we're so glad that you joined us. So thanks.
Yeah. So also really quick before we go, did we have any questions? Because I feel like I saw a bunch of chat come in. I mean, if anybody wants to stay, we can definitely stay and answer some of these questions if we have any, but absolutely. We thank you guys for your time so much today, and stay tuned because we will have more manufacturers and more trainings coming up from not just Jessica and I, but our whole team. So thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Have a great day.
Thanks so much.